Today, we turn to a tense exchange on Capitol Hill, where Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi faced pointed questions about her past statements concerning the 2020 election.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I begin, I just want to remind us all for the record that the 34 convictions, not indictments, convictions of former President, incoming President Trump were by a jury of his peers. Thank you, Ms. Bondi, for being here today, and I too would like to welcome your family and friends who are here.
Thank you.
Appreciated the opportunity to meet yesterday to learn about your priorities and discuss a number of issues that are important to me. But I got to tell you, as I reflected on our conversation yesterday and as I've observed the hearing today, I continue to have significant reservations on your ability to function as a truly independent Attorney General for your friend. Let's say you keep referring to him, your friend, President-elect Trump. So I hope you can address some of these concerns through your responses to my questions here. Now, the first issue area is something that we didn't get a chance to touch on yesterday. So I actually want to follow up on some of Senator Durbin's questions from earlier about the 2020 election. And to be specific, on the day after the 2020 presidential general election, you traveled to Philadelphia to appear alongside President Trump's then attorney, Rudy Giuliani. And together, you falsely asserted that President Trump had, quote, won Pennsylvania in that election. Now, I want to be clear, at that moment, there were still at least 1 million ballots left to be counted in Pennsylvania. Of course, President Biden went on to win the state by more than 80,000 votes. But in the following days, even after the results were clear, you continued to double down on the big lie, promoting falsehoods about election fraud and cheating without offering any actual evidence. And I remember it clearly because I served as California Secretary of State at the time, and I invited anybody associated with the Trump campaign who was making these claims to come forward with evidence of irregularities in the election or massive voter fraud. 4 years later, I still have seen none. So I ask you today, do you have any evidence of election fraud or irregularities in the 2020 election?
So, First Senator.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
First Senator.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
First Senator. I'm so sorry about the fires to you and Senator Schiff and what you're going through in your states. I have to say that.
I appreciate that.
All
my
of our,
clock is
I'll
ticking, and I want to hear
all of our
your answer.
hearts go out to everyone in California for what you're facing right now. I'm glad you asked the question about Pennsylvania.
It's a yes or no question.
I was
Do
hoping
you have evidence,
someone
yes or
would.
no?
Senator, I was hoping you'd ask the question.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
I traveled to Pennsylvania.
Do you have the evidence, yes or no?
I traveled, Senator, to Pennsylvania.
Okay. You're not answering my question. If you have no evidence to offer, let me ask you this. Will you now retract your previous statements that Trump won Pennsylvania in the 2020 election, yes or no?
Oh, Senator, I traveled to Pennsylvania, and let me tell you what I saw firsthand.
Yes or
no? I didn't talk about California because I was not in California. I talked about...
Yes or no? Last time I'm going to ask.
I talked about Pennsylvania because I was there.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to move on because she's clearly not answering my questions. And I want to note, colleagues, for everybody, members of the committee and everybody watching, that the attorney who stood beside Mr. Giuliani was making very similar statements. And he has since been disbarred from multiple jurisdictions for making these false claims about the 2020 election in court. And like Mr. Giuliani, as you've noted today, you've taken an oath to uphold the Constitution just as an attorney. And now you're asking us to consider you to serve as the chief law enforcement officer in our country. So it's imperative, Ms. Bondi, that you subscribe to facts and evidence and not politically convenient conspiracy theories. Your job will be, your job will be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the president-elect's inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Then we'll move on to a different topic.
Senator, you were speaking. May I speak? You
I
cut
want
me
to ask
off
you the
when I
next
was
question.
speaking.
You can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi.
Well, I'd
now,
like
when
to
we met
answer
yesterday,
the previous one, Senator.
when we met yesterday,
You pointed your finger at me and
you
said
did not
you were
seem to be
speaking.
familiar
Let me answer
with
my
the
question. I'm not going to be
citizenship
bullied by you,
clause, the
Senator
14th
Padilla.
Amendment of the United States of America, which was deeply disappointing.
I guess you
And I'm
didn't want to
hoping you're
hear
more
my
familiar
answer
with it
about
today
Pennsylvania.
after I gave an opportunity to study overnight. So can you tell me and this committee what the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment says?
Senator, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework and study for you. If I am confirmed as
You're
Attorney
the one
General,
asking for a confirmation
hey,
vote,
you
ma'am.
cut me off. Can I please finish?
What does the 14th Amendment say?
Senator, the 14th Amendment, we all know, addresses birthright citizenship. I've been a state prosecutor. I've been a state AG. I look forward to, even given your remarks today, working with you and the people of California if I am confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America. I didn't take your homework assignment. I'm sorry. I was preparing for today.
So on the 14th Amendment, now you've testified repeatedly to this committee that you will uphold the laws of this country and defend the Constitution of the United States. Do you believe birthright citizenship is the law of the land, and will you defend it regardless of a child born in the United States, regardless of their parents' immigration status?
Senator, I will study birthright citizenship. I would love to meet with you regarding
Ma'am, you're
birthright
asking us
citizenship.
to
Can I
consider
answer
to
the
serve as the
question?
Attorney General of the United States, and you still need to study the 14th Amendment of the Constitution? That is not helping me have more confidence in your ability to do this job. One other immigration-related question, I'll steer clear of the
I have
Constitution
one
and the
regarding
law.
that I'd like to
Senator
talk about.
Hirona asked you earlier, but I don't think you answered her question. Can you please tell us, do you agree with the statement that immigrants are, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, yes or no?
I did not say that.
I did not say that you said that. I'm asking if you agree with it, yes or no?
I did not say that.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
Senator, my great-grandparents are immigrants.
Do you agree with it,
They
yes or no?
came here from Sicily
Do you agree
through
with it,
Ellis
yes or
Island
no?
when they were teenagers.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
Senator, let me answer the question.
Yes or no? It's
My
real simple.
great-grandparents came here, immigrated to this country from Sicily, recently went and found each of their birth certificates. We are a nation made up of immigrants. Do I believe immigrants are poisoning our country? No, Senator.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, I can't wait for the second round.
Same, Senator. Thank you. No, sir. Thank you.
What unfolded was more than a routine hearing. It became a real-time test of credibility, independence, and the future direction of the Department of Justice. Before we break it down, be sure to subscribe so you never miss these in-depth explanations that cut through political noise and focus on what truly matters. The moment started with a reminder from a senator that Donald Trump's 34 convictions were not allegations, not recommendations, but convictions delivered by a jury of his peers. That set the tone, anchoring the conversation in a framework of legal facts rather than political spin. Senators then turned to Bondi's closeness to President-elect Trump, an issue that has shadowed her nomination from the start. The question was simple but carried heavy weight. Could she serve as an independent attorney general rather than a loyal friend to the president? If you appreciate this kind of context-driven reporting, be sure to subscribe so you stay informed as these hearings unfold. But the sharpest friction came when senators revisited Bondi's role immediately after the 2020 election. The day after Americans voted, she traveled to Philadelphia to stand beside Rudy Giuliani and publicly assert that Donald Trump had won Pennsylvania, even though over 1 million ballots remained uncounted. What makes this significant is not just the claim itself, but the timing. Election night numbers are never final, and historically both parties wait for full tabulations before making declarations. Yet Bondi helped amplify a premature claim that later proved false when Joe Biden won the state by more than 80,000 votes. This is why her statements continue to matter. They were not made in a vacuum. They contributed to confusion and distrust at a fragile moment in American democracy. For more analysis like this, remember to subscribe, because we break down not only what was said, but why it matters. In the weeks that followed, Bondi continued to echo allegations of fraud without producing evidence. That point was emphasized by a senator who, as California's Secretary of State at the time, had publicly invited the Trump campaign to provide documentation of any irregularities. To this day, he said, none has been presented. So during the hearing, he asked Bondi the most straightforward question possible: do you have any evidence? Yes or no? It is a foundational inquiry because the Department of Justice relies not on beliefs, not on loyalties, but on verifiable facts. And when an attorney general hesitates on a yes or no question about evidence, it raises concerns about how she might handle future disputes. These hearings help Americans understand how executive power is overseen, and if you want continued clarity and deep dives into these pivotal moments, make sure to subscribe. Instead of answering, Bondi pivoted to offering condolences for the devastating fires in the senator's home state. It was a compassionate gesture, but one that did not address the core question. The senator attempted again: do you have evidence? Yes or no? And again, there was no direct answer. This pattern matters because it reflects the broader national challenge in the aftermath of 2020. The issue was not only whether claims of fraud were true, but whether public officials were willing to confront facts directly and transparently. As we track these developments and unpack their meaning, subscribe so you stay ahead of unfolding political shifts. By the end of the exchange, viewers were left with a familiar tension that has defined many confirmation hearings in recent years. What does independence really mean when the nation's top prosecutor is chosen by the president they must be willing to scrutinize? Bondi's nomination will continue to draw scrutiny, not solely because of her political alignment, but because of her public role in advancing a narrative that federal courts and state officials across the country have repeatedly rejected. Understanding this helps us see the stakes behind every confirmation hearing. These decisions shape how justice is administered, how elections are protected, and how the public can trust its democratic institutions. Stay with us and subscribe for more clear, grounded analysis as we continue following this story.